Welcome back. Generative AI startups are starting to reach ever higher valuations. One of the biggest problems they're still facing is getting enough data to train their models. Scale AI says they've got the fix. The startup recently valued at $14 billion. In today's Tech Check, Deidre Bosa spoke exclusively to co-founder and CEO Alexander Wang. Deidre.
Hey, Kelly. So Scale AI, it's a really interesting startup. It's one of the buzziest businesses in generative AI. It helps customers train and deploy AI models through data labeling, but it's also powered by over 100,000 human experts and contractors that go through large amounts of data like text and images and mark or tag specific parts so that AI can learn from them. So it's AI with a lot of human input. Now, in the earliest stages of this shift, it was the companies or the research labs building the frontier models that needed Scale AI's labeling the most, the likes of OpenAI, Google, and Meta. But now, as companies in other industries increasingly look to build their own systems off of their own proprietary data, Wang sees a major opportunity. Here's how he put it.
The amount of proprietary data out there compared to the amount of sort of public internet data that's out there is actually staggering. The stat GPT-4 was trained on half a petabyte to 1 petabyte of data. And if you look at JP Morgan Chase's internal data set, there's over 150 petabytes of proprietary data that is also much more relevant to their unique business problems. So the mega trend that we see is really aiding every single large enterprise and the U.S. government utilize all of this incredibly valuable proprietary data that they're sitting on to build their own unique AI reasoning models or their own unique AI agents.
1 petabyte of data is the equivalent of streaming about 500,000 hours of Netflix in HD quality or 500 billion pages of text. Now, I've heard from another founder in the space that banks and hedge funds have the most proprietary data and are looking for ways to use it with generative AI. Wang tells me that he's seeing greater adoption of his tools, too, from telcos, pharmaceuticals, and government. I asked him what happens, though, if synthetic data is used to train models increasingly, or if AI applications can do this better than humans.
At the end of the day, we need to rely on human experts to ensure that we're able to produce extremely high-quality data to go in these models. AI is an industry which is garbage in, garbage out. So if you feed into these models a lot of AI gobbledygook, then the models are just going to spit out more AI gobbledygook. So it's really important that we're able to utilize, the most talented human experts all around the world to fuel these models.
So really strong top-line growth. An open question, Kelly, are the margins, do they look like software margins? If you're using human contractors, is that going to be lower? But, Alex Wang just said that his ARR, annual recurring revenue, just hit $1 billion ahead of its timeline.
Are you hearing this sense that we're going to have an IPO wave soon, Deidre? Because it's still pretty quiet. We've had some filings, but it's pretty quiet in terms of openings.
Right, and Cerebras, which you mentioned, is the chip maker that recently filed, may prove to be the exception. We're getting close to the election, and many of the other founders and generative AI companies I talked to are certainly not in a rush. I did ask Alexander Wang what he was thinking. He said he's got an eye on the public markets, wouldn't say more than that. But remember, too, Sarah Friar or Kate Rooney yesterday said don't expect an IPO from OpenAI anytime soon. Maybe some of the smaller companies, but there's so much funding in this space, Kelly. There's a lot of reason for them to build in private.
Yeah, absolutely. Deidre, for now, thanks. Deidre Bosa.